It's time for the Division II Men's Soccer National Championship. From Highmark Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it's an all-Golden Eagles final. Cal State LA from the West Coast, out of the California Collegiate Athletic Association. They are still unbeaten this year against the University of Charleston Golden Eagles, who lost 2 of their first 3 this year and have been almost unstoppable ever since then. They represent the Mountain East Conference, about 3.5 hours west of downtown Pittsburgh. Hi, everybody. I'm Brendan Gulick, along with Kit McConico, ready for a fun final. These two teams were terrific in their semifinal wins on Thursday. Cal State LA with a fabulous win over UIndy, a team that dominated in 4 NCAA tournament wins in a row, got to the to the Final Four for the first time in program history, but could not quite get over the hump. Could the Greyhounds? Cal State LA stood in their way. Meanwhile, a real dominating matchup between Lynn and Charleston, strength on strength, and that semifinal was a ton of fun.
Oh, it was indeed. Lynn got out early. They found the opening goal in the 18th minute, and then Charleston, not phased, not rattled, 3 goals in a row to come away with that 3-1 victory to book their spot here in the national championship match.
Lots to tell you about both the University of Charleston and Cal State LA. Dimitar Chavdarov, our head official for this afternoon's national championship match. Cal State LA in white, the Golden Eagles from Charleston in their maroon and gold. The opening whistle kicks off the national championship match. Cal State LA 19-0-3 on the season. They have been fantastic. These are 2 unbelievably talented defenses. And much like our women's final earlier today, it would not be surprising if this is a low-scoring championship final. Plenty of offensive options on both sides, no doubt, Kit, but defense reigns supreme between these two teams.
It does indeed. Defense, a big reason they're here in the championship match. They've both just been outstanding, shutting down opponents. They can both score goals, and they can both do it lightning quick. We saw that specifically from Cal State LA in the semifinal, that they were able to turn 3 passes into a goal just so quick, transitioning with the counterattack. Keep an eye on that one. For Charleston, this is a team, a lot of international talent. They are great individually. Can they put it all together and get all 11 on the same page?
Starting lineups coming in just a moment. Charleston has allowed 8 goals in 24 games, first in the country at .33 average allowed per game. They have outscored opponents 39-2 over their last 10, including a 3-1 win in the semis over a very good team from Lynn University. Cal State LA, they have also only conceded 8 goals all season in 23 games, so their goals allowed average is second in the country. Alexander Brahms, a national leading 14 shutouts this year. He is second in the country in save percentage. These 2 defenses have been elite. Go ahead.
No, just about to say for the defenses, it really is. It starts with the goalkeepers, and any good team, that is what they have. And you see Alvaro Unanue, the senior from Castellón, Spain, he and his counterpart, Alexander Brahms, they have just been on point all year long. 2 seniors, 2 Europeans, and a lot of experience, and it shows.
Let's give you the starting lineups. First for the University of Charleston, who is technically the visiting team in this match because they were the 2nd seed in the tournament. Coming in a moment, here's Tim Clayfish feeding one to the left-hand side. The ball played straight up in the air. Clayfish lets it go over his head, and it's touched forward here for Charleston. Adam Robinson, Christos Heralambous, Freddy Tracey, Adam Burchell, Jordi Ramon, Christopher Allen, Willie Nda, Mattia Vizzoni, Plutarco Salinefti, and Jesus Cabañas, the starting lineup for the University of Charleston. For Cal State LA, they've got the Denmark national, Alexander Brahms, in goal. He's been very good this year as Unanue clears this away. Carlos Zarate, a senior from Rio Hondo Junior College, a transfer to Cal State LA. Daniel Simonis, Tim Clayfish, David Elizaga, Jose Orellana and his twin brother Jorge, both on the defensive end. Tony Rosas, one of the cool stories in Division II college soccer this year. Morten Bjorschel is an All-American center back, and Leonardo Nogueira, who played outstanding soccer in the semifinal. That's your starting lineup for Cal State LA.
And Nogueira, the Brazilian out of Brasilia, the capital, he was influential. He's the kind of guy that he kind of drifts in and out. You won't see him, but all of a sudden he gets the ball and makes things happen so quick up the pitch. Great vision as a distributor, and he was key in both of those big goals.
Light rain all day. It has never stopped, and frankly, it's not supposed to. The temperature is dropping a little bit to the point where we may see a rain-snow mix during our contest here tonight. But given the vast amount of talent on both of these two teams that are from countries all around the world, you might logically think, well, gee, if Cal State LA plays in a warm climate like Los Angeles, they're not used to playing in weather like this, but so many of these young men are from Northern European countries, and they grew up in adverse conditions.
Really, Brendan, the only impact you see of the weather playing on this is it's going to speed the pace of play up. That the ball's going to move a little quicker across this turf surface, and for those long balls, you may have to take a little bit off them because when it hits, it is going to skid quickly. But aside from that, I don't see the weather playing a big factor in this match.
Charleston on the move here. They're attacking. They've got Cabañas sending one into the middle. Perhaps an opportunity for Charleston, and it ricochets away for a corner kick.
A nice chance there. Able to come up with something here. Jorge Arellana, the junior out of Bakersfield, he and his twin brother on this side. He comes out to, just able to get enough of it was Arellana. That's a good defender, just always figuring out a way to get their body between the ball and the goal.
That's Elenefti, the Cyprian, standing inside, trying to somehow shade Alexander Brahms a little bit. Corner kick comes in. It falls in the middle toward the back post. Cleared off the 6-yard box. Almost a really nifty opportunity early in this match. The University of Charleston. Charleston defensively so very good this year. Adam Robinson, an Englishman who plays at left back. Might not see a lot of the same headlines for him that you see down the middle of the park, but he's been a pretty impressive left back. He likes to get forward and get involved. I thought he played an important role for this Charleston side, even though he doesn't get a lot of those headlines, especially in the semifinal Thursday.
Yeah, has great speed, quick to turn a defense to offense, and that is your wing back these days. It's what you're going to see. The offensive prowess, always looking to counter.
Elenefti lost it. One back for just a brief moment by Carlos Zarate. Here comes Cal State. Playing through Clayfish in the middle. Rather, Carlos Soli, I beg your pardon. Carlos Soli had a goal in Thursday's semifinal victory. He and Clayfish, really the only way to tell them apart, one has a captain's band on, the other one does not. They are of the same exact build. This one slotted into the middle. Well defended by the right center back.
But speaking of Clayfish, the senior from Leverkusen, Germany, he bossed the midfield in that semifinal. He did it all. A true two-way midfielder, box to box, always getting it done, a great work rate. And to some extent, as he goes, so goes Cal State LA.
Tony Rosas, the defensive player that knocked that last one away. Really cool story about Tony Rosas. He was not playing college soccer. Was a student at Cal State LA. Get a look there at Jorge Arellana. And the coaching staff said, hey, somebody came to us and let us know that we actually have a pretty good soccer player here on our campus that's not on our team. They gave him a tryout, and they could really sense the raw talent. As Cabañas plays this one in. It's controlled for a moment. Cabañas turns one in with a left foot. And Soli knocks it away. Anyways, Tony Rosas has turned himself into truly one of the elite defenders in the country.
But you think about that. Someone he's a student, he's not on the team, he's obviously played soccer his entire life, but to be that good and to have that quality to where you can turn that into a very successful career and not coming off the bench, coming out of nowhere essentially, and what Rosas has been able to do, it's an incredible story.
Clayfish plays this one wide to the right-hand side. Jose Orellana. Head to Elizaga.
Elizaga, a true attacking midfielder. Always looking to get something going, but dispossessed relatively easily.
Cabañas sends it into the middle. Thwarted away. This back line for Cal State LA is a really important reason why they have only allowed 8 goals this year. A lot of people look at the save percentage from Alexander Brahms, and it is terrific. But especially his 2 center backs, and with the Orellana brothers flanked out wide on either side. This defense for the Golden Eagles out west is mighty good.
And if you talk to any goalkeeper, no matter how good their individual stats are, they will point to the men in front of them, and that is the true indicator of the strength of the defense overall.
Simonis trying to connect with Soli.
Soli impressive in that match, the freshman from Norway. Just able to find those spots.
Long ball forward for Aralambus. It spills away from the keeper, and the University of Charleston scores first. Cannot have moments like that in a national championship game. It's Freddie Tracy.
An absolutely terrible decision defensively. Brahms was coming to the top of his box. The defender thought he could get there, and give Tracy a ton of credit. He never gave up on the play. He was able to get to it in time. As you take another look, good ball over the top. Tracy providing pressure, and that time, that was Tony Rosas. And Tony Rosas just made one of the worst decisions of his career. He thought that ball was going to get there in time. It did not. He tried to shield Tracy instead of just knocking the ball away. And Tracy, a fantastic job for the senior from Sheffield, England. Brahms couldn't get there. Tracy able to get the touch and slots it home, the opener for Charleston.
Tracy scored in the national quarterfinal against Franklin Pierce. He had 2 against Mercy a couple games prior, but was not part of the scoring barrage on Thursday night.
There are a lot of matches where you can get away with something like that, but you cannot gamble in a national championship match. You cannot gamble and say, well, he may get there, he may not. You have to be 100% sure, and if that means you knock it out, if that means you concede the corner, so be it.
It's a disastrous start for Cal State LA as Tracy scores his 14th goal of the season. And the officials trying to make sure that this game doesn't get too chippy early on.
Checking on Adam Robinson there, the sophomore defender from Manchester, who appears to have picked up a bit of a knock on the head, just a collision, and ready to get back to it. But what was even for most of the first 10 minutes, it was back and forth, no great opportunities. And then, as you and I have said numerous times here this weekend, in a match like this, with 2 teams as even as these are, it can be a mistake, and it was.
There's Dan Stratford, the head coach for the University of Charleston in his 3rd season. His record is ridiculous. 60 wins, 4 losses, and 5 draws. The 2017 National Coach of the Year, when he led Charleston in his first season as the head man on the job to the national title. They beat Lynn in PKs that season. They knocked off Lynn on Thursday night in the semifinals this year. On the other side, Cal State LA's coaching staff trying to stay somewhat warm and dry, led by 17th year head coach Chris Chamadiz, who is sitting on the far side there. Chamadiz 214 wins in his Golden Eagles tenure, 88 losses, 50 draws. He's been the head coach there since 2003. Over 10 years of MLS experience as a scout and an assistant coach as well. Cal State LA looking for an answer, playing from behind here in the 11th minute in Pittsburgh.
And as much time as there is remaining, Cal State LA just needs to settle things down. What is done is done. They can't change that. Give Tracy the credit due for the goal scored. But you don't really need to change anything. With the exception of that mistake from Rosas, everything else they've done has been the way they play. Just get back to your game, get some possession. Opportunities will come. You will have chances, and you have to take advantage. You need to find goals.
Charleston attacking up the right-hand side here. Alanefti. Negative pass wasn't enough to get Burchell really involved there. Adam Burchell, the Elite 90 winner here at this year's NCAA Championships. If you're unfamiliar, it is truly the highest of individual honors you can achieve at a national championship level. The Elite 90 award is given to the young man or young woman who has the highest grade point average of all individual competitors at any of the NCAA's 90 national championship events throughout the country.
It is the definition of being a student athlete, taking care of your business on the field and in the classroom as well. So congratulations to Burchell.
Chris Allen plays it wide right here. Tried to get it back. But a good job by Rosas stepping in front there. Burchell can't get around him. Almost a quarter hour old here in the Division II Men's National Final. Jesus Cabañas has had a lot of services early. That was almost perfect for front post Freddie.
Oh, what a ball there. Cabañas, the junior from Spain, put it on the money, and Tracy was unable to redirect it. There's a reason they call him front post Freddie for service like this. He knew where he wanted it, and Cabañas did his job. Tracy needs to get ahead to it.
By the way, folks, we're doing our very best to keep our cameras as clear as possible. The weather has been like this all day long, and we are awfully grateful for our camera ops who are bringing you live pictures here throughout the afternoon. 14th minute of action. Again through Cabañas, who's had several services already from the left side. This one, Tim Clayfish in particular, negates. I think you can make the argument that the German holding mid is probably the most important player for the Cal State LA Golden Eagles.
Well, the combination between he and Nogueira in the midfield is you have the holding, the defensive midfielder in the form of Clayfish, and then right above him, Nogueira. Those two are great in tandem, and that is it's what you want. One guy who's going to win the ball and one guy who's going to get your attack going.
University of Charleston with an early 1-0 lead. Freddie Tracy scored in the first 9 minutes of regulation on a ball that defensively was misplayed. Tony Rosas tried to hold Tracy back as the ball was slowly trickling toward the top edge of the 18. Alexander Brahms came out but didn't really attack the ball with much authority. Tracy helped jar it free, beat Brahms, and had a free, clean, easy run at goal and tapped it in for the first strike.
I give Tracy credit. It was difficult for Brahms. And I don't think initially he thought that Rosas was going to leave that ball the way he did. He thought maybe Rosas would play it back to him in his feet and then he could clear it away. But Rosas, some miscommunication between defender and goalkeeper. He could not have come at a worse time.
Willie Nda, Italian man. And boy, is he a firecracker. He plays with his emotions on his sleeve at all times.
He absolutely does. He was big in the semifinal, clearing a would-be goal off the line right before halftime in their victory over Lynn.
Sent out by Unanuadine. Zarate goes wide to the right. Unanuadine clears it away from Soli quickly. Zarate almost threaded it ahead. Instead, the foul whistled behind the play when the referee felt that Cal State LA was losing their advantage.
Yeah, I like the play from Carlos Zarate, the senior from El Monte, transfer from Rio Hondo Junior College. Starting to find some space there and getting more opportunities in the midfield, see if he can pull some strings and get something going for Cal State LA.
The West Coast Golden Eagles playing in their first national championship game since 1981, when they were the national runner-up, losing in overtime to Tampa that year, 1-0.
That being said, this is a team, they didn't come out of, this is a team that they were expected to be here. They were the preseason #1 by NCAA.com. A lot of pressure on their shoulders, and to get here to the championship match after being one of the front runners all season long, difficult to do.
They are the only unbeaten team remaining in the country, and frankly, it's a little odd that they did not win their conference championship. They lost the tourney title in PKs, despite winning the regular season for the 7th time in the California Collegiate Athletic Association. They're also the first team in CCAA play since 2007 to go unbeaten during the regular season. I think both of these teams would tell you they have played a very difficult schedule, and the CCAA is a really good league.
Yeah, both these teams, very different, very difficult conferences, I should say. You have to play good teams week in and week out. That is going to make you better. Sometimes you see teams that are head and shoulders the best team in their conference, and rare did they get to the Final Four weekend.
Alanefti taps it forward. What can the Golden Eagles do here? Looking for Burchell, needing some help. Outstanding effort from the involved right back, Mattia Vizzoni. Instead, from well outside, a shot blocked for Chris Allen, but he gets it back. Rolls it back to Allen. On the flip sides of the park here.
Good job recycling possession, taking time.
Robinson with the left foot, centering ball. And it got through untouched.
For Cal State LA, too many giveaways in their final third. They need to be better with the ball, keeping possession, getting it up the pitch, because giving the ball, as we've seen already, to Charleston in a dangerous area, nothing good is going to come of it for Cal State LA.
Cabañas, another initiated play.
And very obvious what Charleston wants to do. They want to get the ball to the wide areas, to those attacking midfielders, to their wings, and have them serve it in. A bit more direct from Cal State LA when they have it.
Good composure from Carl Soli.
And Soli looking for Eli Saga, but he had a defender on either side of him. Soli may have been better served to just hold on to that one and wait for somebody to come up on that top side.
University of Charleston was the 2017 national champions. They were the national runner-up in 2016 and in 2014. So this is their 4th appearance in the national championship match in the last 6 years. They were additionally in the national semifinals one time, and they lost to Westchester in the Elite 8 round the other time. They've been at least in the national quarterfinals in the last 6 years in a row.
And we saw that in our women's championship match between Western Washington and Grand Valley State. Consistency like that is incredible.
Eli Saga ahead, but too far out in front of Nda.
Particularly with the attrition of college athletics, so you're always losing players, bringing in new players, graduation, transfer. And to be as good as they have been in the tenure of Dan Stratford, it's amazing.
Stratford in just his 3rd season leading the University of Charleston. He's one of the all-time great players at West Virginia University. And as it turns out, Coach Stratford has found his name rumored on social media in the last 24 hours because that job is suddenly vacant at his alma mater. And whether or not that's in his future, he certainly has been one of the elite coaches at Division II. Alanefti tries to chip the keeper, and he sends it over the bar.
Missed opportunity. I think Alanefti should have just driven that one low and hard to one of the posts. His goalkeeper Brahms well off his line. He tried to get it over the top, and it just ricocheted off the head of Bjorschel. Skies it over the crossbar.
Cal State LA is reeling a bit right now. They're frankly probably fortunate to only be down a goal.
And a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes, miscues defensively from Cal State LA, things that you rarely see from them. They're just, I don't know if it's the fact that they're here in this championship match. We mentioned they hadn't been at this stage since 1981. I don't know if it's the nerves, but they'd be well served to settle down and do so quickly because, as you said, the fact that they're trailing 1-0, I think that in itself is, they're fortunate that that's the case.
Haven't had a lot of good connecting passes in the final third yet, where we've seen that on frequent occasion early on from Charleston's Golden Eagles. And by the way, after you saw that punted ball not go particularly far, it's worth pointing out now that the wind is blowing rather firmly from left to right the way you view it at home. And perhaps that is a bit of a factor late in the game, considering Charleston playing with a lead and will have the wind at their backs in the second half. Flag is up, offside.
And even though the flag was up, that is what you want to see from Cal State LA. 1- and 2-touch passing, moving the ball quickly, not keeping it at their feet. That is where they're at their best. You saw that time Soli looking to play Nogueira in. Nogueira looking for Simonis. Just couldn't time the final run, but that is much better from Cal State LA. And that is what their coaching staff, they'll be pleased to see. They need more of it.
Playing toward the corner. Good chase from Burchell.
This is a team, both these teams, with so much individual talent, but soccer's not an individual game. It is a team sport. And the more your team is on the same page, and the quicker you can move a ball, the better off you're going to be.
And trying to get back on it. Nogueira's played really well so far here in this first half. He's been just a step off here or there.
I think it's just a matter of time before he's able to tighten that one up. But Leonardo Nogueira, he and Clayfish, for me, they were the best field players in that semifinal victory for Cal State LA. And there's something about it. And Brazilians know how to score goals. There's a reason that country's won 5 World Cups on the men's side of things. And Nogueira, one of those guys, he has the sense for goal, and he's able to find space.
Well, he struggled with some early season injuries as Clayfish sends this one out. But now that he is past some of those early year nagging injuries, he's up to full speed and has made a real impact.
Nelly Saga just trying to be a bit too fancy there. No reason for that, and he bailed out, one back nicely.
Too easy a takeaway for Cal State LA. In the midfield.
Simonis, for some reason, slammed on the brakes. He had a defender there, and the defender just happy to come up and take it away.
Alvaro Unanuadin sends it up the field to his favorite target so far in the first half, Jesus Cabañas.
And the Spaniards definitely on the same page. Unanuadin able to find Cabañas here on the near side.
Zarate. Right foots it forward. That's the right idea. Elisaga gets there, centers it, and it skips on one hop. Dean has it measured. Especially on a slick surface. Got to make sure the ball doesn't sputter away from you.
That's exactly right. And another reason that you want to see what a goalkeeper has in a match like this. Not only are there a ton of nerves and emotion, you're playing for a national championship, but the ball is slick, the pitch is slick. Take a few shots from outside, see if you can force the goalkeeper to allow a rebound.
Soli just couldn't keep it. Nda with a good play. Now quickly the other way. Tracy getting central. He wants it from Burchell. It stayed too far wide to the right.
And Alexander Brahms is absolutely furious with his defense, and rightfully so. Plutarchus Halanefti, the freshman from Nicosia, Cyprus, was the man who got things going. A beautiful ball played into space, well weighted, right to the feet of Burchell. And you see the reaction from the goalkeeper for Cal State LA. He's had a lot to be angry about early on.
A couple of substitutions here for the University of Charleston. Senior forward from Italy, Ettore Balestracci. He comes on, as well as Spanish junior midfielder Eduardo Iranzo. It is a corner kick for the University of Charleston.
Balestracci, he had that final goal in the 3-1 victory over Lynn, secured the win in the semifinal.
Left-footed bender comes in toward Tracy, but ricocheted back out. And good hustle from Iranzo, but couldn't quite get there.
And well defended the junior from Valencia, unable to wrap his boot around it.
Chris Shamides told me earlier this week, the head man for Cal State LA, yes, it's the Final Four, and yes, we haven't been here in almost 4 decades, but as you mentioned earlier, Kit, they've been knocking on the door here for a long time. Lots of NCAA tournaments, lots of conference titles, several regional titles. They feel that they do a lot with the resources they have, and that this is not a Cinderella story, even though they're undefeated, and perhaps people might not look at it quite that way. The fact they haven't been on the national stage at this championship for quite some time, much like Lynn or Charleston have been.
And I agree with them. This isn't a Cinderella story. This is a very good team. They've been building to get to this stage, but the fact is, this is their first time here in Final Four weekend in 38 years, and there's a lot to be said for experience. And as good as they've been this year, a team that has been in this situation before, like Charleston, that knows kind of what they're going to face, that understands a little bit more of the emotions, that is an advantage.
He comes out and checks the clock, shaking his head. You can see his defenders not happy with the corner kick awarded. Freddie Tracy scored in the 9th minute for Charleston.
Keep an eye on front post Fred, number 9.
They're curling it in. It goes off the head of the defender, Bjorschel. Now Iranzo plays it wide left. Back heel touch back to Iranzo. He left foots it off of Clayfish. And a corner kick on this side.
Absolutely beautiful there from the 2 men from Valencia, one to the other. That time the back heel from Jordi Ramon onto his good friend, Iranzo, able to win the corner.
And so a chance here for Chris Allen. It's been a pretty similar tactical lineup here on these corner kicks in the first half. 3 men grouped at the top of the box. Curling inward, falls straight down, and it's kicked up and over the top of the bar by Bjorschel.
Bjorschel, that was the only thing he could do in that situation. The first team All-American, wisely knowing that a ball in that dangerous area, nothing good is going to come of it. Concede another corner, but get it out of the 6.
That time it was back post Freddie that was looking. Couldn't quite get there, though. Bjorschel, an elite defender, and he made a good play.
A junior from Oslo has led this back line all season long.
Allen 2-taps his head, ready for it. Lots of contact, bodies flying around, then a left-footed shot. Iranzo way off target.
Iranzo figuring why not have an attempt. And who's on the ground. The target in that situation, the big body, 6'1", the defender coming forward on the set piece.
The road here for the Golden Eagles, including shutout wins over Mercy College at home and back-to-back road wins in shutout fashion against Gannon and Franklin Pierce in games played in just miserable weather in Erie, Pennsylvania last weekend. And then Charleston defeated Lynn 3-1 in the semifinal on Thursday. Cal State LA beat Midwestern State 3-0 in their first home game in the NCAA tournament since 2013. They had a bye in the first round. And then they beat St. Mary's on penalty kicks on their home field. Jesper Evanson hit the clinching PK goal. And to punch their ticket to Pittsburgh, they beat Cal State Bernardino. Drew them in the regular season, but beat them for the second time in the playoffs. Beat them in the conference semifinals. And then in the Elite Eight round of the national tournament, followed it with a 3-0 showing Thursday over UIndy to make the national championship match.
Yeah, the weather today may not be to the liking of Cal State LA, but after last weekend in Erie, Charleston will certainly not be complaining.
This is balmy. You should have seen the snow and the ice on the field last week in Gannon. It was ugly. Zarate. Orellana. Elisaga. Back to David in the corner. Meg's a defender, but lost possession. Orellana back into the midfield. Zarate. Lobs it over the top.
Not seeing the off-ball movement from Cal State LA. As good as they are, they're watching the man with the ball, hoping that he's going to make something happen. They need to make those runs and get themselves in a position.
This could be developing.
See if they can get that pass through and make things easier for the man with the ball at his boots.
Ooh, Zarate goes down. I'm glad he's back up. That looked like an awkward fall on this slippery surface. Meanwhile, Iranza trusting Chris Allen running down the middle of the park. Allen goes wide to the right. Burchell now attacking from the left-hand side. He had been on the right side quite a bit early in this game. 32nd minute, 1-0. The University of Charleston playing from out front, trying to win their second national championship in the last 3 seasons. You can see the train rumbling behind the boundary of the stadium in the distance. That train track is right along the edge of the Monongahela River.
Just an amazing setting, home of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds of USL Championship, and just beautiful right here, nestled between the bridges in Steel City, almost at the confluence of the Monongahela and Allegheny Rivers. Get a shot of downtown Pittsburgh across the river. A perfect venue for this weekend.
Zarate. Charleston calm right now in the face of chaos. Some contact, not enough for a whistle. By the way, we told you at the outset of the match that Dimitar Chavdarov is our head match referee. He is assisted in this game by Michael Nickerson and Marco Vega. Fourth official is Rick Rogers. Congratulations to those 4 men and to their families on the selection to officiate a match of this magnitude.
Without a doubt, we have the best teams in the country on display here, the best officials as well. They've been selected, and a huge honor for them to be here.
Cal State LA living on razor's edge right now.
They really are defensively. More than once, they've been a touch away from going down 2-0.
In the 34th minute, here's Burchell tapping forward. Iranzo with Clayfish in the way.
I like what I've seen from Carlos Zarate. For me, he's been the man in the midfield. Clayfish hasn't been as impactful as he was in the semifinal, but number 2 there, doing a very good job for Cal State LA. Commits the foul here, does Zarate, the senior, the native Californian.
Here's how we got to this 1-0 margin as University of Charleston waits for the free kick.
Rosas just thought his goalkeeper was going to get there. There was obvious miscommunication between Brahms and Antonio Rosas, and Freddie Tracy says, I'll take it. Thank you very much. 1-0 Charleston.
Oh, the ball skips over the top of Nda. Soli taps to his left. Carl back to his right, and it's saved away. What a save by Alvaro Unanuadin.
The senior from Castellon, Spain, coming up aces. 1-on-1. Soli cut inside, outside. Was able to create space for William Inda. And that would have been the equalizer had it not been for Unanuadin. Look at this. Just great work. Creates enough space, and Unanuadin cuts down the angle. That's what a good goalkeeper does. He realizes it is all about angles, putting yourself in the right place, and maintaining the 1-0 advantage.
Mark that down as a pretty key moment. By the way, you just see how slippery it is. Simonis needed a second chance. He cuts to his right, plays it back toward Soli. And that was that. Rather, that was Clayfish that he tried to feed. Either way, magical moment for Dean. Both teams bringing on a couple of substitutes here.
Dean, who came into this weekend with a .25 goals against average.
That's Demore Elewine checking on for Cal State LA. And a couple of changes for the Charleston men as well. Stijn van Ark, the Dutch midfielder, first appearance at the national semifinal, or I should say national championships period for him. They've also checked on Alex Townley. Wide on the left-hand side, this is sent across the face of the goal, but no one touched it. Another substitution here, this time it's for Cal State LA. Robin Lindahl, senior from Norway. He comes on, replacing Nogueira.
And they brought on Manuel Garcia, sophomore from Bell Gardens, with that previous substitution. Fresh legs for both teams. Final 8 minutes and change here of the first half.
So Lee taps to his left-hand side, hoping that perhaps he can get some help wide on the left there. Robin Lindahl, he's had an important impact on this team this year. Started at Division I, Cal State Bakersfield, and he played wide over at Bakersfield, but he's played more centrally since he came to Cal State LA. So he can certainly do both, but in the words of Chris Shamides, when our football is good, he finds a way to get on the end of things.
He had big minutes in the semifinal victory over UIndy. Sully went out. He was injured for some of that second half. Lindahl came in, and there was no discernible drop-off at all.
Well, there's something to be said for having a knack of being in the right place at the right time. Now it's Clayfish. Not quite enough to win a corner. That's very well defended. Can't do it much better than Eduardo Iranzo just did there.
What a job from Iranzo. That is picture-perfect defending. You stay with the man, don't allow the corner, and able to win it.
Rosas heads it forward. Ball finds his feet again. Clayfish, a little off balance. Well, everybody's on ice skates around midfield. Finally, the whistle blows.
You may see some footwear changes at the half. Trying to stay on 2 feet has been an issue.
Clock stops briefly while Clayfish relaces his left cleat. Cal State LA, undefeated so far this year, but far from untested. And they are playing from behind here in the national championship match. If you did not join us at the outset, I'm Brendan Gulick along with Kit McConico. Congratulations to the Grand Valley State Lakers women's team. They won their 6th national championship earlier in double overtime. A goal in the 107th minute. We were almost heading to PKs for the Lakers, who frankly were dominated by Western Washington in the second half. Came through on a couple of deflections after a late free kick. And Grand Valley State wins their 6th title, all of them since the 2009 season. Will this be a storybook year for Cal State LA and finish with a title? Or will University of Charleston remain at the top of the table? Meanwhile, a hard foul here. Adam Robinson goes down, and an immediate yellow for Carl Soli.
Yeah, he took a shot, went to the ground, and asking for the training staff to come out to take a look at the sophomore defender from Manchester.
Yellow card issued to Cal State LA.
Soli picks up the first card of the match.
Certainly hope he's okay. Robinson's been critical so far here this afternoon. So Lee trying to say, hey, I didn't do it on purpose. That might be the case. But it was still enough for a booking. Your thoughts on the way this one's played out so far? Obviously, the goal that Charleston put on the board was more of a mistake by Cal State LA than it truly was a good play for Charleston.
With that exception, pretty much what I anticipated we would see. Both these teams have had some issues getting on the same page. I think nerves are playing a big part for both of them. Hopefully they'll settle down and play a little quicker, free-flowing football that we're used to seeing from them in the second half. But right now, just you mentioned it, there's a disconnect, and it's not just on the part of Cal State LA. There is as well as Charleston. Charleston's doing a better job using the wings, getting it wide to guys like Iranzo and sending it into the box. They've had more chances, but if you've watched these teams throughout the year, this is not what you've seen, and I think a lot of that is because the caliber of competition they're seeing tonight and the defenses from both of these teams.
It's a pretty good time to be from the City of Angels. The Lakers and Clippers are having great years in the National Basketball Association. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim just signed Anthony Rendon to a $245 million contract, adding him to Mike Trout and company, trying to rebuild that roster. LA Rams having a bit of a down year, but went to the Super Bowl last year. The Golden Eagles trying to assert themselves and to say, hey, look, college soccer out here on the West Coast is pretty good too.
What, no LAFC and LA Galaxy mentioned? Not even going to talk about El Tráfico?
Well, as soon as Zlatan decided he was done with Major League Soccer, it was irrelevant, right?
Not so quite. So say you.
Not quite. All kidding aside, they are truly one of the premier cities for Major League Soccer in the country. And I think you probably wouldn't get much of an argument for Chris Chamadiz, who is currently a scout for LAFC. Little run they went on this year.
They have a great mix of local talent. They have a lot of native Californians on this team, mixed and interspersed with some international talent as well. Obviously not a difficult place to recruit to, but to be able to get that, to get very good players in your city, and obviously UCLA is there as well, Division I, but to get the players they have, and then to bring these players over from Europe, I think they've found a fantastic recipe.
Perhaps all the more credit then goes to Dan Stratford for recruiting to the capital city of West Virginia. Almost entirely his roster made up of international talent.
23 out of the 24 for Charleston.
Boy, that one darn close to the top corner. Iranzo from a long way away tried to curl one in. It certainly didn't catch Brahms by surprise, but it was dangerously close.
Eduardo Iranzo quietly putting together a very good first half. Brahms just, he had it measured the whole time, wisely pulled away at the last second when he saw it was going to go to the left of the post. I think Eduardo Iranzo is somebody that Cal State LA really needs to keep in check.
And heads it forward. 41st minute. Iranzo. He's playing with such freedom.
You said it. He's getting a lot of room to work, and that is a huge mistake in my estimation.
No whistle there. Referee says play on.
Anytime Iranzo gets it, there's not a defender within a few feet of him. That gives him time to get up ahead of steam and to look around, decide what he wants to do.
Just had an interesting thought. You know, the weather we've referenced a couple times here. This would have been considered a welcome sight down in Cary, North Carolina last night during the College Cup semifinals. You should have seen the field. If you weren't paying attention, you should have seen the field at Wake Med Soccer Park. They were squeegeeing the field last night, trying to get some of the standing water off. Had two really good Division I matches. And their national championship final will be held tomorrow, Virginia and Georgetown. I would imagine that some folks might be watching both games here this weekend.
I think you're right.
Good effort by Garcia. Ramon sends it forward. Can they connect with Soli, who stays on his feet? One-time strike across. And Cal State LA couldn't quite come up with that final connecting pass they've needed. But as the game has gone along, I think the West Coast Golden Eagles have settled down a little bit.
I think they have. They've recovered well from the error that gave up the only goal we've seen here in the half. Soli, he was looking for Elizaga, just not on target. You're right. The final ball is more often than not just not finding the man in white and black.
Meanwhile, did not reference earlier that Emil Rasmussen has checked in at left center back for the Charleston Golden Eagles, sophomore out of Denmark. Goal kick. Just 2.5 minutes left before halftime.
I think by and large Charleston will be pleased with the performance they put on here in the first half. They've had some opportunities, and maybe they think they should be leading by more than 1-0. Cal State LA, a team we saw what they can do in the counterattack. They don't necessarily need to have a lot of possession to be effective, but they need more of it than we've seen here in the first 43 minutes.
Also saw a tight shot there of William Clegg, senior defender out of New Zealand, who was on the field and being tested there. Not a foul, just a throw-in, as Clegg and Elisaga went toe for toe with each other. Popped straight up into the air by Balistracci. Alonso won't give up on it, but lost the play. Charleston wants to play wide to the right. Boy, a couple of great cuts by Alex Townley. Charleston Golden Eagles with less than 90 seconds. And a foul.
And a great run from Townley, the sophomore from England, just slicing and dicing through the Cal State LA defense. Just needed to play that ball a bit quicker.
Chris Allen's been all over the field.
He has. And he's one of those guys who maybe doesn't get the credit that he deserves.
Cal State LA will have a free kick here from a reasonably good place in what very well could be the final build-up here of the first half. Tim Clayfish will take it. He chips it into the air. It's headed straight back down and rolls outside the box. And Charleston may have just cleared away the final danger. Cal State LA going to try to have one last push. Just 22 seconds left. Well defended. Solely couldn't get to it. Elisaga overruns it. Good effort from Van Ark.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
And it goes out of bounds. Final play of the half.
2, 1.
It's been a very well-played national championship match so far, aside from one very large looming mistake. Cal State LA in the 9th minute slipped up in a massive way, and Freddie Tracy made them pay for it. 1-0 to the Charleston Golden Eagles here at the half. Well, these two teams defensively are known for being truly elite, and they have played very much that way. It's been hard to find good entry passes in all day.
It has. Defenses have done their jobs, not a lot of opportunities. Anticipate things opening up a bit in the second.
So Dan Stratford leads his team into the locker room as Cal State LA trails the University of Charleston 1-0 in the Division II version of Men's College Cup. Halftime coverage coming up shortly on NCAA.com. Freddie Tracy put Charleston out front of Cal State LA in the 10th minute of regulation, 1-0. And that's where we stand as we get ready to start the second half of the national championship game. Alongside Kit McConico, I'm Brendan Gulick. A couple look at the first half highlights before we kick things off here to start the final half of regulation. What'd you think about the opening half?
Not a lot of opportunities for either team. Slick footing, and the one big mistake from Cal State LA. Freddy Tracey on the spot, able to knock it away. Rosas, he thought his goalkeeper was going to come out to take it. He should have just sent that ball out into touch. And Charleston able to take advantage for the lone goal.
Cal State LA, though, didn't have no opportunities. They brought the ball up the field several times. This was their best chance. What a save.
It was indeed incredible save from Unanuadine on the spot. That kept the 1-0 scoreline intact. Really the best opportunity and one of few in the first half.
And so we kick off the second half from Highmark Stadium in downtown Pittsburgh. The wind continues to blow from left to right across your screen at home. It's picking up a little bit as the weather worsens a touch here late in the day on Saturday, December the 14th.
As I mentioned, footing has been an issue, and I think that's affected Cal State LA because they like to play quickly. They like to play that 1-2 touch style, play to feet, move the ball up the field. They haven't been able to do that. You've seen guys that just haven't been able to keep on 2 feet or maybe the ball a little bit in front of the intended target. That being said, there were definitely some nerves on the part of both teams in the first half. And there it is right there. You saw there was a counterattack opportunity. Sarate had the ball in space, couldn't keep his feet underneath him. Excuse me, that was Manuel Garcia. But either way, an opportunity snuffed out, not by good defense, just by not being able to stay upright.
I have a feeling that could come into play throughout the rest of this game. Hopefully these two teams can find ways to play under control. Here comes University of Charleston up the left-hand side, and they're going to win a throw-in in the quarter. Good play from Burchell.
Notice one change at the break from Cal State LA, bringing Jose Tovar on. Tovar gets the start here in the second half, the senior from Fresno. Didn't see him in the first.
Tovar played meaningful minutes in the semifinal on Thursday. There's Tovar. Meanwhile, we also saw Demore Alawine stay on the field after he closed the first half out there for Cal State LA.
I think for Charleston, it's just continue to do what you did in the first half. They had the opportunities, had better chances, kept possession, even though possession was pretty even.
We talked about this Charleston team being known for their defense, and that's a fair thing to say. We have not yet referenced that their defense this year has been twice as bad as it was last year. They've given up 8 goals in 24 games this year, which is just silly, right? But compared to last year when they gave up 4 goals the whole season and lost to West Chester in the 3rd round of the NCAA tournament, they didn't even make it here. They set an all-time goals against average record of 0.19, all-time record in Division I or Division II, and they did not win the national championship. How about that?
This year I thought their goals against average at .23 was something incredible, and it is.
On the season, 8 goals in 24 games, but one of those goals came against a backup keeper. Alvaro Unanuadin has been something special. Alexander Brahms has played fairly well for Cal State LA today. The problem is he got sucked into one bad decision, and right now it's the difference in the game.
And you'd like to see Cal State LA come out to start this second half and really just put their foot down, put their mark on this game, take it to Charleston. It was very back and forth in the first half and deferential at points. Teams content to let the other have the ball.
The foul there on Plutarchos Alanefti. Looking for Soli. It finds his feet. He gets taken down, and that is a definite booking.
Williams end up getting tangled up, and he will see yellow. I think he's just trying to say that was just feet getting tangled from both players, but clearly a foul.
Yellow card issued to Charleston, number 23, Williams Enda.
You see the run here. Soli, that run up from behind. A referee right on the spot.
So Cal State LA will trust their captain, Tim Clayfish, to take a free kick from right in the middle of the field. A golden chance for the Cal State LA Golden Eagles. Clayfish, soft one up in the air.
Just tried to loft it over. That was just out of his range for putting it on frame himself.
I think there's an injured Charleston player down in the box defensively here.
You take another look. Clayfish just tries to get underneath it, but players colliding, going down. No one there in white.
I'm glad to see Ramon get back to his feet. He's kind of holding his right clavicle. I'm not sure if he took an elbow or not.
There's a lot that
those
goes on.
Things fly around.
You get up and you're trying to elevate as much as possible. It's just natural that your arms, your elbows are going to come out to the side. I think Ramon caught one.
All right, so play will restart here. Dan Stratford, head coach of the University of Charleston, trying to lead his team to a second national championship in 3 years. You could make the argument they've been the best men's soccer team in the country over the last 6 seasons. Looking to win their second title, though, after a pair of national runner-up finishes in 2014 and in 2016 when Dan was an assistant on staff. We've got the Cal State LA Golden Eagles who turn it over in a very poor spot. Oh, Clayfish commits a really bad foul. No way you're not put in the book for that.
The captain, the man from Leverkusen, Germany, you knew he was going to see yellow as soon as he committed the foul. And not a great start to the second half by either team. Some heavy fouls, cards, poor giveaways.
Yellow card issued to Cal State LA's number 8, Tim Clayfish.
You know, it's kind of interesting. Cal State LA is a team that, while they are one of the best defensive teams in the country, they also commit among the fewest fouls in the country, tactical or otherwise. I think that was probably, even though it's a yellow card, probably a smart foul for Clayfish because it negated any real buildup. Although now they have to work their way through a dangerous set piece. Charleston takes it directly into the wall. It was struck by Erolambus. Clegg plays it back into the air, top of the 18. Squirts away to Christos. They roll it near side now.
Give Charleston credit. Poorly taken set piece right into the wall, but able to get back on it, retain possession. Everyone in white back defending.
Good idea. Nefty a little off target with his flick forward. Trying to stay with it. The ball being played through the air several times. Yorschel can't clear it away. Look at how far Garcia just slid on that turf. It's a slip and slide. University of Charleston have the benefit of having a 1-0 lead here. So they can be a little bit more selective. Golden Eagles up the left side.
Very cagey, tense from both teams. Neither willing to open up. I think both these teams.
I think that crossed for a corner. It sure did.
Yeah. It's obviously, I mean, it's defense first, and you would expect that in a championship. A collision there between Birchall and
Martin Bjorschel.
Two of them exchanging pleasantries.
I wonder if they're making dinner plans for later. Not likely. One of them is making national championship plans. On the corner kick for the Golden Eagles. Comes back up top. Ricochets in. Still a chance for Charleston. Birchall from a long way out. Good chest save from Alexander Brahms.
And Brahms had it the entire time. Saw that ball coming in. Not enough on it to trouble him.
No, but I think Cal State LA fans may have collectively seen their hearts skip a beat there.
Understandably so. Ball just bounces out. Birchall, not one of the main goal scorers for Charleston, but either way.
This has been such a interesting offense all season for Cal State LA. They've always found a way to score enough. It falls on the shoulders of your captains and your veterans in a game like this to try and make something happen. You're playing from behind. There's no reason to leave anything on the field. It's win a national championship or come so close. Trying to play up through Elowine. Slips free into the middle of the field. That's a really good hard tackle and a clean one by Emil Rasmussen.
Rasmussen, who came on as a substitute in the first half, the freshman from Denmark, final man, had to make the tackle and did. Great buildup from Cal State LA. And that's what they need to get to, just moving that ball quickly up the pitch, getting numbers there. When they play like that, they are incredibly dangerous.
Jorge Orellana lays it off. They go wide left to Clayfish, who taps back in. Soli knocks it forward, and a good effort by Unanuadine. Reading it, came out and pounced on it.
Much better in this last sequence from Cal State LA. Moving the ball, finding openings. Clayfish to Soli, and I think Clayfish was looking for the return ball, but he'd stopped his run. Instead, he went inside. He was trying to pick out Jorge Orellana. Just a bit too far in front of the junior from Bakersfield.
Charleston reeling just a little bit here.
And really, for the first time all game, we're seeing a concerted offensive attack coming from Cal State LA. We've seen flurries here and there, but they've had an extended run of possession that we haven't seen thus far in the match.
Yeah, good organization now offensively for the Cal State LA Golden Eagles, but they've got to get back after turning the ball over.
And then they do that. You send that cross-field pass in the air, the team that is much better with the ball on the turf.
They maintain possession. Burchell gets it central and strikes a bad ball from a long way out.
Burchell may have got his boot stuck on the turf there, not the contact he was looking for by any means. As talented as Cal State LA is, a team that likes to build from the back, when you see them start serving the ball over the top or cross field, not a good sign.
Charleston got to this game by playing in a very physical contest with a much older Lynn University team. Guys that were 25, 26 years old playing for the Lynn Fighting Knights. They can certainly handle their own business. Orellana trying to split two defenders, still staying with it. Good persistence from the defense for Cal State LA.
Yeah, very impressive Charleston in that semifinal victory. They got down early. They conceded the opener. Lynn, just an incredible strike from Lucas Olsterman in the 19th minute. But
that was a goal of the tournament.
It almost took the net off the hinges. But Charleston, they didn't panic. They continued to play their style. They kept their pattern. They found the equalizer in the 35th. And then 4 minutes later, they went ahead, never to look back. Found an extra one in the second half and ended up coming ahead 3-1.
William Clegg is getting a lot of run here as the right back defensively. This is Alowine trying to slip past Van Ark in the midfield. He was taken down. Free kick for Cal State LA.
Yeah, some contact there. Alowine maybe losing his footing as well.
So Tim Clayfish hoping perhaps to have a little better fortune on this free kick. Instead, he plays wide to the right-hand side. Orellana back to the top of the 18, and Soli couldn't get there. Boy, that's really good ball control from Jody Ramon. Soli taps to his left. Long-range left-footed strike, spills away. Good try from Bjorschel.
And that is why you have to take shots, particularly with the conditions the way they are. Goalkeeper as good as Una Nuadine, even he wasn't able to come up with the save cleanly the first time. Allows the rebound. Take the shot from long range as Bjorschel did. Hopefully somebody can get there first. But Una Nuadine just able to beat Soli to it on the rebound. So important that your shots are on goal. So many times we talk about shots and this team out shooting that team 10-2. Well, how many of those 10 shots are on goal? Really, that's the stat that matters.
Substitution for Charleston. Freddie Tracy returns.
Number 9.
And their left midfielder. Jesus Cabañas also back on. Gabriel Rodriguez. Looks like he just checked out. Elenefti with a really slick pass to get past Oriana. Garcia running with him. Plutarchos Elenefti back behind him. Clegg wins the corner kick for the Charleston Golden Eagles.
All the credit in the world. He made that happen. Was able to sneak by the defender, tightrope the touchline. But it wasn't until late in the play that you saw Clegg come into the picture. I don't know if it's fatigue, but you wouldn't imagine at this stage in the season that would be the case. Just the off-ball movement lacking.
Corner kick slips all the way through. Almost deflected right past Alexander Brahms, but he was able to read it well. Good corner played by Aralambus. It was almost a sneaky goal from the Charleston Golden Eagles. Cal State LA as we approach the 1 hour mark. Trying to hang in there. Frankly, with the way this game has gone, I'm not sure they can afford to go down 2. Certainly not insurmountable, but they haven't had enough quality chances to make you think they could come back.
I think you're exactly right. It's been a stalemate since that opening goal. And Charleston is able to find the insurance goal and put themselves ahead 2-0. Look out.
Clear frustration there from Rosas after misplaying that and giving up the throw-in to William Clegg. Lights are taking more and more effect here as the day wears on in a dreary, wet, and frankly quite cold day here in Pittsburgh. Clegg goes over to check on Elenefti, who's okay. Just needing a moment. Actually, that's not Elenefti, it's Aralambus. They hold things up for a moment. While Cal State LA waits to bring on 4 new players. All 4 of them were starters. We'll give that to you in a second. Not a corner kick, but a free kick from the corner. Hangs in, punched away. Beautiful job by Brahms. That was bending toward the back post.
And a great ball. Exactly where they wanted to put it, just inside the 6 towards the back post. The in-swinger, Brahms able to punch it out.
Zarate, Simones, Elizaga, and Nogueira all waiting to check in for Cal State LA. On the other side, Charleston readying to make a couple of changes to send in Sam Bethel and Ettore Bellistraci. That corner kick didn't do much. And now all 6 of those aforementioned players return to the pitch.
I think the biggest of those 4 substitutions coming on for Cal State LA, Zarate in the defensive midfield and the man above him, Nogueira. Nogueira was a part of those 2 goals in the semifinal. They need to figure out a way to get him involved offensively. He's a guy who can make things happen.
Charleston gives it away. Here's how we got to this. Well, we'll go back in just a second. We'll wait for a little longer stoppage, but we'll show you the goal from back in the 10th minute when Freddie Tracy put Charleston on the board. Let's go to that now here during our free kick stoppage. This was back in the 10th minute of action, the only tally so far.
Aralambus playing the long ball over the top. He was able to find Tracy, and Rosas just a poor decision. He thought his goalkeeper was going to get there, thought he could shield Tracy off the ball. Brahms a bit slowly off the line. There was some contact between he and Tracy. Tracy able to knock it out of his gloves and into the back of the net.
Throw in for Clegg. It comes back to him. Cuts toward the corner with it. Cal State LA wins it away. Soli working with Zarate, who right foots it up to the middle of the park. Well defended by Ramon. Brahms takes care of it. 63rd minute in the Division II Men's National Championship match. Cal State LA regular season but not tournament champions in the California Collegiate Athletic Association despite an unbeaten record this year, 19-0-3. They lost on penalty kicks in their conference championship match, but it has not hindered their run here through the late portion of November and now into early and mid-December.
I think you could even argue that it may have aided them in a little bit, losing a match like that, a match that you think you should win after their run through the regular season. Never want to lose games, but maybe a little extra motivation for Cal State LA to get here to the Final Four weekend.
Charleston champions once more in the Mountain East Conference. Only about 3.5 hours away from Pittsburgh, and a slightly more pro-Charleston crowd here at Highmark Stadium this afternoon.
Give credit to the fans. They've come out here enduring the elements, supporting their sides, watching great soccer.
Turnover right in the middle of the field. Clegg running down the middle. Can't slide it past Tony Rosas. And now to the far side. Good run going here for Elizaga. Quickly off his foot.
We've seen just so much of that, these individual runs, turning the ball over. The best that Cal State LA has looked in the second half is when they are moving the ball quickly. When it's one-on-one, little if anything coming of it for either side.
Too much of a shoulder there for the officials' liking. But the two players get up and everybody's okay. I don't think there was too much malintent behind the Balistracci foul. Cal State LA still looking for a promising final pass where they can then finish off a game-tying goal. They've been close. Clayfish does not attack that ball, and instead it goes all the way back to Alexander Brahms. Zarate gets it from Clayfish. Long over the top pass in the middle of the field. It spills away, and a good recovery from Unanuadin.
And almost the mistake that we saw for the opening goal coming on the other end as the equalizer. The goalkeeper and the defender in the same spot, neither calling the other off. And as a goalkeeper, you have to be the loudest one on the pitch. Unanuadin, I don't think he saw Rasmussen was going to head that back to him, and he's fortunate that he was able to collect it.
Elizaga was the intended target on that long ball by Zarate. Good work from Sam Bethel. Beg your pardon. And a foul whistled on the West Coast Golden Eagles. So Charleston has a free kick, still nursing a 1-0 lead. '67th minute as Willie Nada looks for some help. Tried to connect with Tracy. Cabañas couldn't get there.
Pressure being applied by Charleston, looking to win it back in that final third, able to get it.
Rasmussen sends it all the way over. Boy, look at the work here from Brahms. Just to make sure that one crossed out of bounds.
Great job from the senior goalkeeper from Denmark. He is not taking any chances after that opening goal.
Second year in a row that this national championship has been contested in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Barry Buccaneers from Greater Miami, Florida. are the reigning national champions, but they can only say that for perhaps as few as 22 more minutes. This championship next year will be contested back down in the Sunshine State, heading to Tampa, Florida next year in early December, as Columbus returns, as Chris Allen does as well. Clayfish taps it over the top.
And all the play, particularly for Cal State LA, congregating in that center third up the spine. See if they can widen things out. Maybe open the passing lanes a bit. Charleston, a team that really likes to use those alleys. They like to play down the lines.
You see Dan Stratford standing there along the sideline, watching his team compete from out front. They've played almost the entire game with a lead, trying to add to it. Bellistraci, it slips past him, and a foul outside the top of the 18, and the foul is on Charleston. Clock stops here as the ball had snuck away. And the referee goes over and just makes sure that Tony Rosas is on the same page with each other. Cal State LA playing in this game for the first time in 38 years. Dan Stratford's team has been here several times the last half dozen years, 4 and 6, but only the second time under his leadership.
The defense from Charleston much improved in the second half. Not that it was bad in the first half, but they're doing a better job, a higher work rate as a team. Able to win it back yet again.
Of course, Charleston was previously coached by Chris Grassi, who left the university to go coach at Marshall right after the 2016 season ended. And Dan Stratford, who was on staff and had done such a tremendous job as an assistant, was quickly hired as the head coach. And again, if you missed the note earlier on, at this point, they're just rumblings and rumors on social media. But Dan Stratford, who is a West Virginia University grad, the all-time career leader in games played and assists over at West Virginia. He was drafted by DC United in 2008. Went back and played in the United Kingdom for a couple years before returning to the States to be a collegiate coach. The head coach at West Virginia just stepped aside of his post recently, and there are rumors that Stratford could perhaps take over. Freddie Tracy dispossessed on a dangerous run up the field.
And had to be. Beautiful ball. Great work by Tracy. Able to free himself down the line. Got by the defender. Just couldn't create enough room for a shot.
And regardless of Dan Stratford's future, his record in Charleston at the start of the day, 64-5 in his 3 seasons. And he is on the verge of a second national championship. It has been a magnificent run for the Golden Eagles in West Virginia. They've got a lot of talent coming back on this team with only a few seniors. They'll have to replace Dean in goal. Freddy Tracey is a senior. Ettore Bellistraci is senior. Jordi Ramon, William Clegg, Willie Nada, and Adrian Montalvo, who we have not yet seen this year. He's the only American on the roster. But the rest of this group slated to return next year.
And the way this program has become, they just reload. They're able to attract such talent from everywhere.
It's loose in the middle. Christos Arlambus with the right foot had his shot blocked. Goes back to Christos. He turns, spills away from him. Boy, Cal State LA needs something desperately to happen in their favor. Right now, Charleston is possessing it far too frequently down in the offensive end.
Fantastic work here from Ettore Bellistraci. It was on the near side. He was able to shoulder the Cal State LA man off the ball and able to retain possession for Charleston. You're exactly right. Possession all in favor of Charleston here in the second half. And it's difficult when you're defending as much as Cal State LA is, and everybody's back. When you get it, it's hard to get an offense started because you're always at a numerical disadvantage.
Good to see Adam Robinson coming back in. He left with an injury earlier. Alex Townley also returning for Charleston. Let's see. They take Balistraci off and Emil Rasmussen. Robinson will go back out wide and play at the left back spot as Clegg throws in near side. Rosas back to his keeper, Brahms. It's an aggressive play by Willie Nda. Clegg spins one into the middle of the pitch. Good second effort there from Sam Bethel. Orellana. Heavy tackle, not a foul. Now Heralambus. He's got Townley on the right, but decides on a negative pass, not fielded well. And Daw cleans it up. Orellana.
That's another situation where Cal State LA is waiting for the pass. Charleston, their players are trying to get there first. You've got to go backtrack towards the pass. You can't just stand there flat-footed and think it's going to reach you.
Centering pass, it's deflected in front, and it goes in! It's a brace for Freddie Tracy! Could it be a championship clinching moment for the Charleston Golden Eagles?
Absolutely brilliant ball, and Tracy measured it, got the flick on. Tracy found the back of the net earlier, not satisfied. A huge insurance goal. Just fantastic service into Tracy. The defender late to him, and look at that, just cuts it. There's some serious English on that one. The man from Sheffield doubles his total, and more importantly, finds the insurance goal for Charleston.
Outstanding work by Freddie Tracy, who's played a little over half this game at this point. Had a hunch coming in that he was going to play an important role. Not sure, though, anybody expected he would score twice and be the difference maker here by himself. As Dan Stratford's team now can take a slightly different mentality. You have a 2-goal lead with 16 minutes to play, and you've dominated possession.
They're going to continue to want to dominate possession. They're not going to park the bus, but you see them maybe pulling guys in the midfield a bit further back. But with that exception, I don't think all that much is going to change from Charleston until they get closer to that 6-minute mark left in this match.
Well, they put 18 seconds back on the clock. Cal State LA is all of a sudden in a world of hurt. The 9th and 10th goals allowed all season by Cal State LA.
And at halftime, the possession was very even. I was surprised that it was as even as it was, but hasn't been the case here in the second half. Charleston, they've had the ball. They've been patient. There's wave after wave of attack. Finally rewarded with Tracy's second.
Perhaps coming here, Nogueira. Soli, back to the Brazilian. Well defended by Robinson, now Clayfish. It's deflected on the way in. Well done by Unanuadine.
Very good ball, dangerous. Looking for Bjorschel, who's been on both ends of this pitch. The All-American doing everything he can to rescue his side. Who else but the captain, Clayfish? It took a deflection. Unanuadine, as we've seen in more than one occasion, just well positioned. He's in the right spot, and that makes the save so much easier.
Morten Bjorschel is a center back who is not playing much defense. They have put him up on the offensive end, trying to get him more involved because At 6'1", he can get up in the air. He is also really physical.
He's now playing as the right wing, and that was the change after the goal. Charleston started dropping their midfield further back. Bjorshul immediately sent from the back line up top.
Bjorshul struggling there to stay on his feet. Charleston has now outscored their opponents 41-2. Including this game, it's an 11-game stretch. And one of the 2 goals they conceded came yesterday on an absolute missile into the back of the net from an All-American striker for Lynn. Cal State LA with a tall task in front of them, but not impossible, as Nogueira taps it to his teammate Simonis. Doesn't put much on it on the way forward.
Cal State LA maybe trying to be a bit too fine in that situation, just looking to thread the needle, and you see all the numbers in maroon and gold back behind the ball. If that's the case, your best opportunity may just be to take the shot. See if Nuadine allows a rebound. He's been incredible. He's done a great job.
Charleston needed PKs in 2017 to get past Lynn for the national title. They have a 2-goal lead as Cal State LA ticks up the urgency here. Zarate forward. Flag goes up, offside.
And that's on Bjorshul. An incredible run from Carlos Zarate, just right up the middle, keeping the ball on a string. Bjorshul starting his run an instant too early. That's a man they need to keep an eye on. Obviously, a lot of worry on the part of Cal State LA with Zarate down on the pitch. Here it is again. Look at him, just splits a pair of defenders. Still, the ball right there. Bjorshul inches on the wrong side of the final defender.
Charleston, 14 shots, 5 on target today. Only 3 total shots registered for Cal State LA, all 3 on goal, as they continue to provide medical attention here.
And as the rain continues to fall, falling a bit heavier now. It was a light mist early on. It's been pretty steady all day long.
Hopefully Zarate will be okay here. Well, they can't afford to lose him. He has played so well, not just this season, but certainly this weekend.
Man, the senior, one of the keys, and it's not a good sign when your head coach comes off the bench to take a look. Coach Chamity's obviously worried about his star midfielder.
Zarate sits up as they continue to look at him. There was quite a buzz on campus back in Los Angeles because this team has achieved at such a high level and because they got to host a national tournament game. Coach Chamity's was awfully grateful to the Cal State LA community, the way they went out and supported this team. They said the send-off before they left for Pittsburgh was really cool. Felt like there was a lot of momentum around this program as the senior midfielder is helped off here, Zarate. He also said it was not a goal of theirs at the beginning of the year to be undefeated. But as a team, they recognize that at 19-0-3, that is the case, and they've had a terrific season. But they were not going to define themselves based on being undefeated or not. It was not an elephant in the room, if you will, that they had not lost a game yet. And right now they find themselves down 2 goals in the 77th minute of the national championship, and Charleston and their fans here in Pittsburgh starting to feel like they've got a pretty sizable lead.
That second goal from Freddie Tracy, massive. They've been working for it. But as a player, you know, if you're trailing 1-0, anything can change that in just a moment. A flick of the boot, nod of the head, and all of a sudden you're all level. But then you look up at the scoreboard and there's less than 13 minutes remaining and you're down by 2. That is a completely different scenario.
Nogueira got punched in the mouth. Incidental, but can't fling your arm out wildly like that. And Leonardo draws the foul.
what point does Cal State LA like to just start sending white jerseys up the pitch, trying to get anything going offensively?
Long ball over the top.
They've already started to commit a few more. Right now playing with 2 in the back, and they've moved more into the midfield.
By the way, Gabriel Rodriguez is on the ball here for the Charleston Golden Eagles.
Junior from Cali, Colombia came on. We saw him in the semifinals as substitute. Had a good match. The time he was out there made an impact.
I don't see Freddie Tracy on the field at the moment. I believe he may have subbed in for Tracy.
Tracy's done his job. That much is for sure.
They play it wide left here. The flag stays down. Cross gets off, and it's headed away by Oriana. Nogueira. So Lee can't get there ahead of Nanda.
Nanda read that pass perfectly. You saw where Nogueira wanted to play it.
Alawine picks it off. Chance here for Simonis. Lobbing it in the middle toward Bjorschult. Sliding effort to keep it inbounds by Nogueira. Back to Oriana. 79th minute has elapsed. We enter the 80th. University of Charleston, on the heels of 2 Freddie Tracy goals, have taken a 2-0 lead. One came in the 10th minute, and one certainly more recently, late in the second half. Robinson touches it forward. Really solid match from Eduardo Iranzo, especially early, though he hasn't played as integral a role here in the second half as he takes this one toward the corner.
What a job he did in the first half. Anytime he got the ball, he was going to make something happen. Won a lot of corners, 2 free kicks, always had good service in.
Perhaps another run for Charleston. Possessing in the box, looking for the back post, just a little wide. Really good look for Christos Aralambus, who scored in the semifinal on Thursday and almost put this one on ice.
Aralambus had the opportunity. He got the ball exactly where he wanted it. Tried to go back to the post. Just a few inches on the other side.
Alexander Brahms clears it.
Brahms forced to come out there. Doing everything he can to keep this a 2-goal score line, but now inside of 10 minutes, time becomes a real factor.
Alawine taken down. Oriana. Nogueira. Going to show off his good speed, but Clegg slides it away.
Well defended there by the Kiwi. Knew exactly what was coming. Nogueira was going to try to play himself down the line.
Jorge Oriana. On one bounce. Knocked back toward Nogueira. And now Jose Oriana.
This is at the point for Charleston, leading 2-0, a national championship on the line. When you get it, just clear it.
Perhaps a chance here. Elizaga spills away. Follow-up opportunity is well off target. Charleston dodges a major late bullet from the Cal State LA Golden Eagles.
And again, Alvaro Unanuadin, the senior from Spain there. He hasn't been called upon to make many saves, but he has made the saves he's needed to. Good ball in, teed up in the right spot, got his body behind it. Out to Elizaga, and Elizaga just couldn't get it by his countryman.
Another change here for Charleston. I believe it's Burchell who comes back on. We're in the 83rd minute. Charleston Golden Eagles started the year on a hair-raising note. They lost 2 of their first 3, but have won 11 in a row coming into today, and a 21-game unbeaten streak. They lost to Bellarmine 1-0 back on September 11th, and they lost to Ohio Valley 1-0 in the opener on September 5th. Those are their only 2 setbacks of the season. Dan Stratford said he thinks it might have been the best thing to happen to this team. You lose a couple games early in the year and have to do a lot of soul searching and figure out what your goals are. When you're used to being this deep in the national tournament, when you're used to succeeding at the highest level and playing into December, that early in the season is not too early to do some soul searching.
I think he's exactly right. For a team like this and as much success as they've had and are used to having, going up against adversity early in the season, never a bad thing. And realizing that you're not just going to cakewalk your way into the Final Four. You are going to have to work. You're going to have to improve and become a better team throughout the season. They realized that early on. They were punched in the mouth, so to speak, and they responded in impressive fashion, and they had to.
85th minute. A couple of the Vuvuzelas are out, as the University of Charleston fans are starting to feel like this might be a night of celebration.
And as they have almost all of this second half, just continuing to keep the ball at their feet, knocking it around, finding players.
Flag goes up there for offside.
Long extended stretches of Charleston possession have really taken air out of the Cal State LA sails.
Cal State LA has not been shut out all season. All 3 of their draws, they scored once. And to silence this offense the way they have, Charleston's 2-goal edge is a deserved one. Another offside flag goes up.
They've done it with a great combination of defense, everyone in maroon and gold working, and then the offensive chances when they've been there, as all good soccer teams do. You don't know how many chances you're going to get in a match. But when you have them, you got to make something of it. They turned a half chance into the opener, a miscue, and they found the goal from Tracy in the first half, and then he doubled his tally in the second.
Couple of changes here. Manuel Garcia returns. For Charleston, Emil Rasmussen back on, as is Stein Van Ark, as Charleston goes to as much a defensive lineup as they can. They take Eduardo Iranzo out, who played admirably.
Absolutely fantastic game from that young man, the junior. He'll be back next year.
Orlambus also leaves the pitch. Under 4.5 minutes remaining in regulation. Adam Robinson. Stays in bounds.
I wondered how long it would take them before they elected just to bring it to the flag, and now with just over 4 minutes, certainly think that's the right move. With a 2-0 advantage, and Cal State LA down 2-0.
Chipped forward with the left foot. Cal State LA starting to get a bit desperate with some of the long balls over the top. They don't have the luxury of time to build up anymore. Garcia right foots it back. Rosas, who's had a magnificent season, probably be haunted by the mistake he made early in the game as a whistle blows for a foul. Clayfish can't believe it's against him.
Clayfish less than impressed with that call, and this will give Charleston time to take even more precious seconds off the clock.
This University of Charleston roster made up of young men from all over the world. Spain, Brazil, England, Denmark, Cyprus, Italy, Colombia, Iceland, New Zealand, the Netherlands, Venezuela. It's amazing how Dan Stratford and his team have brought a group so diverse together and how they have achieved at such an unbelievable level. 8 goals allowed in 25 games this year.
Soccer's the world's game. You don't have to speak the same language. But when you have a common goal and you all know what you're working for, we've seen it this year from Charleston. Everyone on the same page, and I guarantee you there have been some language issues, but
sure,
it hasn't affected them one bit.
Well, he said his coaching staff has tried to learn a couple of different languages, at least some of the basics, to help guys feel welcome. They call themselves the Noah's Ark of college soccer, as Freddie Tracy, the hero of the night, will run back on, because they come by twos. Lots of those countries are represented by a couple. We are approaching the final 2 minutes of regulation. While we have a brief second, want to give a big shout out and thank you to our 4 camera operators, Vince, Taylor, Aaron, and Zach. Thank you for your work here this week and for sticking through some of the less than ideal weather conditions. And the folks at home certainly appreciate the pictures. Our producer and director this weekend, Greg Ambrose, Nick Young on replays. It's been an honor to be back in Pittsburgh for the second year in a row as Charleston is closing in on a national title.
Very fortunate to have the great crew we have, and big thanks again to everyone here with the Riverhounds.
This one rocketed off, and a great save by Dean. He makes yet another brilliant stop.
And you see his teammates immediately mobbing him after the fact. They are there all over the senior goalkeeper who wants to end his career as a national champion. What a match he's had.
It's not over quite yet. Cal State LA with a chance. This one flipped back over to the other side. They need something magical, and they have no time to waste. It's a left-footed shot, deflected away again by Dean. Clayfish turns in, still loose. Alvaro Dean looks like he has 7 arms. He stops everything.
Leonardo Nogueira playing out of his mind.
Another late service. Bjorschel heads it to no one in particular. And the Cal State LA Golden Eagles have reality setting in.
When you have the offense that Charleston has, and you pair that with the defense and a goalkeeper the caliber of Alvaro Nogueira, who comes up with another massive save to keep the shutout and the 2-0 scoreline intact, that is confidence that few teams have, and you can ask any team at any level in the world. When you look back and you know you have a goalkeeper that is going to be there for you to make saves, it allows you to play just a different level. You're so much freer, playing with so much more confidence, and that has been the case for Charleston this weekend and all season long.
It's been a dream season for Cal State LA, back in the national championship weekend for the first time since 1981, but their season will end with their first and only loss. The University of Charleston capping it off here in Pittsburgh for the second time in 3 years. They are your national champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the championship game. Congratulations to the University of Charleston.
Freddie Tracy scores not once but twice in the final game of his Charleston career. A truly remarkable night. Tracy with his 14th and 15th goals of the season, one early and one late.
Heartbreak on the part of the Golden Eagles of Cal State LA. Fantastic season, unbeaten. They just couldn't find a way today against Charleston. Charleston knew what they wanted to do. They bided their time. They weathered the storm. And 2 goals from Tracy, a miscue in the first half and a brilliant strike in the second. Enough to give Charleston the title.
Dan Stratford giving a well-deserved hug to Alvaro Untitled. If it weren't for Freddie Tracy's 2 goals, that man right there would be the man of the match. He had the game of his life, and boy, did he come up with some unbelievable saves. And he'll also finish his career with a national championship. Think about all the time and effort that these young men and their families have poured into tournaments, all the club soccer, all the sacrifices, both time and financially, that families make in order to be able to play and dream about being on a stage as grand as this. This is the pinnacle of amateur competition in the United States. And these young men from all over the world who are receiving education here in Charleston and at Cal State LA have had quite an opportunity this weekend. Great sportsmanship between Alexander Brahms and Alvaro Dean. A championship moment for the second time in 3 years. Charleston winning in 2017. Also runners-up in 2014 and in 2016. Without a doubt, right now, they are the best team in Division II college soccer.
No question about it. They were impressive today. We wondered what we would see in this match. Saw a little bit of everything, but Charleston never worried about things. They took their chances. They continued to play great defense, which has gotten them here to this weekend. And that is the reason they are the 2019 national champions.
Let's take a look at the 2 goals. Both of them, Freddie Tracy putting in the net. The first one, a defensive mistake early.
It was indeed. Good ball, almost over the top, and just a miscue from Cal State LA. Not quite sure who they wanted to have it. Tracy able to knock it away from Brahms, and that was the opener. And then a late, looking for the insurance goal, something to seal it in the second half. Tracy, front post Fred. And that's why he has the moniker, made it 2-0.
Remarkable day for the University of Charleston. They finished the season 22-2-1, and they end the season on a 22-game unbeaten streak. Just a remarkable run for the Charleston Golden Eagles. Cal State LA closes the year with a record of 19-1-3. And while it certainly hurts now, they will go back to the West Coast awfully proud of what their university accomplished here. As Chris Shamity said, it had been a long time coming. This was not a Cinderella story, but this team is certainly deserved to be on the national championship stage. And with so many good, talented players returning next year, it may not be long before the Golden Eagles come back once more. We will continue our live streaming coverage with the championship trophy presentation here on NCAA.com, but we'll hand things over to the public address system for those honors. Again, a big thank you to our entire production crew all week long here in Pittsburgh. For Kit McConico, I'm Brendan Gulick. What a night for the Charleston Golden Eagles. 2 goals for Freddy Tracey sends the Charleston Golden Eagles back to the top of the D2 landscape. They are the 2019 national champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, this time we direct your attention to midfield. First, we present the 2019 NCAA Division II Men's Soccer All-Tournament Team. At midfield, from University of Indianapolis, Junior Jacob Olchik. At midfield, from the University of Indianapolis, Junior Vincent Stone. At forward, from Lynn, Senior Lucas Osterman. At midfield, from Lynn, Junior Jal Delgado. At forward, from Cal State, Leonardo Nogueira. At midfield, a senior from Cal State, Tim Clayfish. A midfielder, a freshman from Cal State, Carl Soley. A goalkeeper, a senior from the University of Charleston, Alvaro Unanua Dean. A forward senior from University of Charleston, Freddie Tracy. A midfield sophomore from University of Charleston, Christopher Allen. And a defender senior from the University of Charleston, Williams Enda. And the 2019 Most Outstanding Defensive Player, as voted by members of the committee, is Christopher Allen, a sophomore from the University of Charleston. And the 2019 Most Outstanding Offensive Player, as voted by members of the committee, from the University of Charleston, a senior forward, Freddie Tracy. Fans, let's hear it for your 2019 All-Tournament team. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we ask that you please direct your attention to midfield for the presentation of awards for the 2019 NCAA Division II Men's Soccer Championship. First, let me introduce the members of the NCAA Division II Men's Soccer Committee. Mr. Terrence Beatty from Westchester University of Pennsylvania. Mr. Matt Cochran from Northeastern State University. Mr. Wade John from St. Michael's College. Mr. Michael Kaler from Rockhurst University. Mr. Claudio Arias from Texas A&M International University. Mr. Mark McKeever from Young Harris College. Mr. Brian McMahon from Palm Beach Atlantic University. In chair of the committee, Mr. Philip Bellici, guard from Dominican University of California. Now let us recognize and congratulate the two teams in this year's championship game. With a final record of 19-1-3, the 2019 runner-up is Cal State LA, coached by Chris Chamades. We ask players please step forward and receive an award as we read your name. A forward senior, Leonardo Nogueira. A midfield sophomore, Manuel Garcia. A midfield senior, Jose Tovar. A midfield senior, Tim Clayfish. A midfield senior, Carlos Zarate. A forward sophomore, Ramon Hoffman. A defender junior, Morton Bajorshal. A goalkeeper senior, Alexander Brems. Midfield freshman, Carl Soley. Midfield junior, Daniel Simones. Defender junior, Jesper Evanson. Midfield junior, David Elizaga. Defender junior, Jose Oriana. Defender junior, Jorge Oriana. Defender senior, Antonio Rosas. Midfield senior, Demorie Alawine. Forward freshman, Aiden Waite. Midfield freshman, Eduardo Castellanos. A goalkeeper freshman Sebastian Castellanos. Defender sophomore Arvan Steva. Forward junior Robin Lindahl. Midfield freshman Daniel Yu. Midfield junior Nick Nelson. Defender freshman William Lundell. Assistant coach Omar Zini. Assistant coach Dallas Jousey. Assistant coach Michael Erush. And head coach Chris Chamades. Congratulations on an outstanding season. And now the 2019 NCAA Division II Men's Soccer Champions from the University of Charleston, coached by Dan Stratford. Players, we ask that you please come up as you hear your name called. Goalkeeper senior Alvaro Unanoa Dean. Defender freshman Jao Lima. Defender, a sophomore, Adam Robinson. Defender, sophomore, Emil Rasmussen. Midfield junior, Sam Bethel. Midfield sophomore, Christos Erlambus. Forward senior, Freddy Tracey. Forward senior, Ettore Balistraschi. Forward junior, Gabriel Rodriguez. Forward sophomore, Adam Burchell. Defender senior, Jordi Ramon. Midfield sophomore, Christopher Allen. Goalkeeper, a freshman, Andre Gretarsson. Defender senior, William Clegg. Defender senior, Williams Enda. Midfield junior, Eduardo Aranzo. Defender freshman, Mattia Vizzoni. Midfield junior, Stein Van Ark. A forward sophomore, Alex Townley. Defender senior, Adrian Montalvo. Midfield junior, Felipe Montiel. Midfield freshman, Plutarchos Alnefti. Midfield junior, Christopher Gribben. Midfield junior, Jesus Cabanas. Assistant coach, Travis Brent. Assistant coach, Daniel Smee. Assistant coach, Ben Martinez. And head coach, Dan Stratford. We ask that Williams Enda and Dan Stratford please come forward to accept the team trophy for the University of Charleston. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for your attendance and for making the Division II Men's and Women's Soccer Championships such a success. We ask that you please drive home safely, and we will see you next year.